Now, one of the most important parts of our rebalance is our agenda for shared prosperity in the region, an agenda that begins with trade. Last week in Hawaii, we made progress, good progress, in our negotiations towards one of the most significant trade agreements in history, the Trans-Pacific Partnership, or TPP as you know it. Now, this negotiation includes Singapore, the United States, and 10 other countries along the Pacific Rim. And together, these countries account for nearly 40% of the world's economy. As with any complex negotiation, I've watched them for years in the Senate, voted for them, may I say, for the trade agreements. There remain details to be hashed out. But the reasons why each of the TPP countries are pressing on to work through tough negotiations, or even some of the most sensitive issues of those negotiations, is very, very clear. But the Trans-Pacific Partnership is about a lot more than just creating economic opportunities, and this is really important to focus on. It's about raising standards. This agreement initiates a race to the top, not a race to the bottom. Under this pact, every participant will have to comply with core international labor and environmental standards. Every participant will have to refrain from using underage workers, unsafe workplaces. Every participant will have to ensure that state-owned companies are actually competing fairly with ones that are privately owned. And every participant will have to fight trade-related bribery and corruption, ensure free and open digital trade, and safeguard intellectual property. Because major economies are committing to TPP's high standards, its influence will be felt not just through the region, but well beyond. It'll send a message to people within the TPP and outside of support for good governance, transparency, accountability. It will bear witness to what we have seen in both Singapore and the United States, that sustainable development and prosperity are nurtured by the freedom to innovate, experiment, and compete economically on a level and open playing field.